Welcome to Course Close-Up with my co-host Ed Marin. This is Mike Fiorillo, and this year a little something different. We're going to improve your game with two outstanding golf pros. To my right from Oakland Beach, Ryan Morian, and to Ed's left from the Country Club, Mike Ferry. And gentlemen, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us. Good morning.
Thanks.
So we're going to be showing how to improve our short game today. And Ryan, why don't you tell us first what we're going to be working on?
I think first we're going to do some short, just simple, basic chip shots from, looks like we got about maybe a 30-foot chip here to the pin, and I think that's where we're going to begin.
How important is a good short game?
Probably the most important thing that you could work on. Everybody is going to miss greens. Everybody needs to have a short game, and what I think about the short game is it's the simplest part of the game to work on. You don't need a lot of strength. All you need is a little bit of practice time, and I think you can shave a lot of strokes off of your game that way.
Most people spend countless hours at a driving range, and they spend a lot of money buying new drivers every other year. What's the key to a good short game? Where do you practice it? And you said you should practice it where?
Well, the majority of the courses in the area, certainly here at the club. I know us at Oakland Beach, we have chipping and pitching areas. You could do this in your backyard. You know, if you got 20 or 30 feet and some wiffle balls, you can do it. But to answer the first question, I like to consider the short game. I tell all my juniors, it's a cheese pizza, right? You should pick the most simple, basic option for what you're looking to do, right? Then we'll get into that as we start hitting some shots, right? It's not a anchovy and pineapple on there, right? You know, don't do something complicated, right? Take the most basic option that you can possibly think of.
Let me ask Mike a question down there. Mike, is there a certain club you should always use when you get close, or does it depend on the golfer?
Well, it's different for different people. I like to try to keep it as low to the ground as possible. Like you said, keep it simple. The old phrase, KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
We use that a lot with Ed.
Yes, I understand that. Poor Ed. But there's sometimes you might use one club and hold it in different variations, or you might use, a putter or to an 8-iron or even a hybrid around the greens.
All right, well, let's get to it. Short game coming up. Okay, we're back, and we have Mike here. Mike's going to explain and demonstrate the proper chip technique.
Well, guys, first we're right here in front of the green. There's multiple options you can have here. There's some guys that might putt it from here, chip and run. I know I was talking with Mr. Fiorillo. He's going to hit an 8-iron. Ed's not sure, so he's going to hit probably a wood from here. But there's multiple different options that you could use from here. But the key is, what is the like Ryan was saying, to keep it simple, the cheese pizza philosophy, what's going to get you on the green at least one? Get it close to the hole, give you a chance. So I have a sand wedge right now, okay? I choke down on the club, and I make a simple stroke, a little length, just a little bit longer like your putting stroke, and get the ball rolling and let it roll out towards the pin.
All right, let's see.
Good shot right away.
Good roll.
Yeah, they're a little slow this morning. We had a little rain. So, Mr. Fiorillo, you want to come in?
Sure. Let me try. As I said, I try to use an 8 for some reason.
Can we hear him from there or not? So, what club do you have here?
My 8-iron.
Okay.
I like my 8 near the green. I feel comfortable with it. Let's see how I do here.
Not too bad. Do you see the pin there? We actually want to go towards the pin.
I also got a lot more spin than you did too. Why is that?
Well, today, because we had rain. Quite a bit of rain.
I would have been off then if it wasn't raining. So
yeah, yesterday you'd hit that'd have been off the green.
So I hit it too hard.
Correct. So let's get the club face lined up maybe at the pin this time.
All right.
Move this way a little bit. So move back in your stance.
You know that's like trying to lead a blind squirrel,
Good.
right?
Yeah, but you went towards the pin that time.
No, why am I hitting it too hard? That's too much backswing, or?
Understand, probably compared to the golf course you're used to playing, it's probably a little bit faster. So let's make an adjustment now. Let's land it a little bit shorter.
Right.
Well, he got the shorter part down.
So my question then, Mike, is maybe I should try, like you do, a different club, or is this club working okay?
I like to try to find a club when chipping that you're going to get it onto the green and let it roll from there. Okay. So from here, I would recommend for you, as fast as maybe a pitching wedge or a 9-iron.
Okay.
Oh boy, Ed, you want them?
Sure.
What?
So what club you got here, Ed?
I usually use a pitching wedge.
Okay, it's a good choice.
Boy, is that
Right to the hole.
impressive.
Pretty good. Let's see one more.
Look at this guy.
Now, the one thing you'll notice with both these guys, both their arms are swinging. They're keeping it nice and simple. They're not big, long swings. Very short swings, keeping it simple.
Try it, Sandra.
That's better.
These guys should be maybe teaching us.
Wow,
At this point.
that's very impressive.
Now we got to see Ryan.
Okay.
Wait till we get him out of the sand.
So I'm gonna switch the club here, just because of course we talked. You know, you have some different options of how to play shots like this. The simple option is obviously the best one to take, right? The thing that I've noticed with both of you is, if anything needs to be corrected there, it would be getting some of the wrist out of that stroke. You know, Mike was a little poppy, and Ed was a little scoopy, as I like to say. I don't like to see wrist in shots like this at all. So it would be basic. I like to start with the weight a little bit on the left side and just work an arm swing back and a body turn through. Arms, body. Okay. And it comes out fairly well. Hit that one a little bit left. From here. One more time. Weight forward, open up a little bit. Arms, body.
That was a nice.
With the shot that I selected, that one a little higher, so maybe a different wedge would have been a good option.
Okay.
Want to try it, Ed?
And anytime when you're doing chipping, the rule of thumb is putt. If every chance you think you can putt, when you can't putt, then chip. So, and a chip is keeping it low to the ground, let it roll from there. Your last option you want to do is hit the ball high in the air. That's a pitch. We'll show you that last.
You don't want to see it for me.
Well, we are going to let you hit so you don't hit the clubhouse or any cars in the parking lot.
I'm just going to try one more with the swing of Ryan's.
Okay. So remember what we talked about was a little weight on the left foot. It's going to be an arm swing back, a body turn through. Try not to move those wrists at all. As far as motion's pretty good, maybe just a little less of an arm swing.
Okay.
As Mike was referring to it. First, obviously, we want to make sure that we have that club face pointed where we want the ball to go, because that's where it's going to end up, right?
And when it's going to sound like a crazy question, both Mike and Ryan, but when you're aiming yourself towards the pin, are you using your front shoulder, using your legs? What is the key to aiming towards the pin?
Club face. Your club face got to be aimed.
Like this?
Club face has to be aimed at your target.
So what about the rest of your body?
When it comes to chipping, if anything, you're going to be a little bit open and aimed a little bit to the left of the target.
That'll just help your body
Rotate
go
through.
like we discussed.
So a little bit left, but you have your club to the pin, right?
Yes. If you have the tendency, your club is a little bit left of the pin.
Yeah. So you don't worry about your shoulder that much or anything.
I mean, you don't want your shoulders way left or way right,
Right.
but your club face, start there.
Okay. Good enough.
Just when in doubt, just watch Ed. He's a pretty good chipper so far.
He tells me that anyway.
Hey, at least Josh Greger can back that one up.
He
right?
did.
Yep.
He did.
So, where do we want to go to next?
So from here, let's go to a bunker shot, which some of the golf course runners have bunkers. Right. And let's show you how to get out of the sand, which scares a lot of people.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to the sand. As you can see, where most golfers, amateur golfers, guys, really don't want to be, and why is it so difficult for the amateur to really have a good shot out of the sand?
You've got to swing the club. You saw the first chip we had was very little swings. You got to take a bigger swing here, and you got to follow through. And most amateurs want to stop the swing.
Ryan, it's a little damp today, so the trap's a little damp. Is there a difference between when it's damp like this and when it's been dry for a long time hitting out of the sand?
Yeah, absolutely. You get into a wet bunker and you need more speed to get the ball to come out. You need to sometimes be a little more precise. You don't have the benefit of having soft sand for the club to simply slide under and pop the ball out onto the green.
So how far back do you aim from the ball? I know you can't, your club can't touch the sand when you're in the sand trap. Is that true?
That's true until this year they've loosened that a little bit where, you know, if you make some contact going back, there's not a penalty, but you're still not allowed to ground your club in the bunkers.
Okay.
As far as how far behind and sand like this, I'd say somewhere around an inch. If you have a little bit of speed with your swing, you should be able to pop that ball out pretty good.
Okay.
The club, now everybody sells sand clubs, you know. What clubs should you use all the time?
I've gone to some good players thing where they use any kind of club around here. Pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron around the greens. So there's not just one club again. But a sand wedge is designed to help you get out of the sand. So I would say one type of the sand wedge.
So for amateurs like us, sand wedge is probably the best club.
Could be, depends on the shot we have.
All right, well, let's go to it. Let's hit out of the sand.
Okay. Take it this one.
Ed wanted you to.
Okay. So, you know, the general way that you know we've discussed hitting bunker shots for a long time would be getting some lines drawn here for reference, right? I call these. I just call this the bird foot, right? You know, you got a line to the left, a line to the middle, and a line down to the right. Generally speaking, you're going to do well to have your feet kind of on the line to the left, your club face on the line to the right, and swing down the middle. And if you can do that with, like I said, in these wet bunkers, a little bit of speed, the ball should pop out of here pretty good and hopefully get going towards the hole. So as you can see, my feet and body are on this line to the left, club face more on the line to the right, and then the line down the middle would be the line that I'm going to try to swing down on. Looks something like this. Caught a little too much ball there. Should have taken a little bit more sand, but I think you get the general point of body, club face on the right line, and
Hold your ball. Look where his club has gone. He followed through. He didn't stop down here. It's important to follow through.
there you go. One of the general ways that you could play a pretty effective bunker shot.
All right, Ed, why don't you give it a chance?
Oh boy.
Ed's going to show us the bunker after watching Ryan.
See if I can do this.
Okay. Feet on the left line, club on the right line, swing down the middle, and like we said, probably about an inch behind that ball today.
That's a good shot.
Great job.
Good shot, Ed.
Comes right out, has a little bit of spin on it.
I hit another one, Ed. Make sure it's not beginner's luck.
Oh, this game's hard enough. Let's not put it in a hole.
Yeah, really.
Put it more in the middle of your stance.
I wanted it difficult today.
A little bit wider. Just a little wider. Your feet. Good. Now move your body this way. Put it in the middle of your stance. Keep going. There we go. Now get the face open. Now hit that same shot. Come out of there soft.
Whoa, he sculled it.
Well, I'll do another one because I know I picked up on that one.
Yeah.
Didn't quite hit that inch behind it.
I didn't.
Incidentally, I think Ed is using one of the first sand wedges ever made to hit this shot.
See how he decelerated?
Yeah,
Didn't follow
stop.
through.
Yeah, yeah.
Got in his head. Because he hit the other one so far away.
That's good.
You know, amateurs
Ball
do that if
position a
they
little
skull
more up.
one and they're afraid to hit the
Too
next
far
one.
up.
It
The back
happens
foot.
all the time, just like on the putting green. You hit one
Good.
way by the hole, then
Swing
next
down
one
this
goes
line,
short.
club face on that one.
There it is. That's what
Beautiful.
you're looking for right there.
Look at that.
Okay.
That's a perfect shot.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to try one
Up and
now
down.
with my new club.
Okay. Take cover here, guys.
That looks like a fairway wood. Or a
This is
hybrid.
designed to help you get out of the sand.
Is this for
Technology's come
70-year-olds?
He missed the ground of the club part, though. How's that follow through?
Bad. Stop. Right?
Yep, swing all the way through.
We have faith in you, Mike. There you go.
There, you followed through. Look how good that was.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Here
if you
we
think
go.
about what Ryan said before with the bird's feet, and if you look where Mr. Fiorello is, he's done everything the complete opposite. His feet are aimed to the right, his club is aimed to the left, and somehow he's swinging down the middle. Thank God for technology in that club to get you out. Let's try one where you might aim a little left. There we go. And the face is aimed a little bit to the right. Just open the face. Don't turn your hands. Just open the face. And swing down the middle. Big fall through this time. There we go. Good.
It's still-
Caught a
you
little
can't-
bit too far behind it, but that was better that time.
All right, Mike.
the second one better.
Mr. Ferry, it's your turn now.
Right?
All right.
We got to see it.
Here we go.
So sometimes, and you dictate how far you want to hit it by how much you're going to open the face. Okay, so if you want to go real short, face could be a little bit more open your body a little bit. You want to go a little bit farther, get a little bit more square. But sometimes we get those nasty ones that plug. Those are a little harder to get out of. So with this one, you don't want to open the face. You want to be like Mr. Fiorello was. Close the face a little bit, and you always got to get the club underneath the ball. So you have to get a little bit more steeper on it, a little bit more of a V formation. So, still lane, but the club face a little bit more square.
Wow, that's a great shot.
Okay.
See that?
That looked better than mine. Mine wasn't even plugged.
If you do it right, and the technology helps with the right clubs.
Want to try one plug there? Go ahead.
No, it's not.
No?
There's a clubhouse over here. Any other questions you guys have with the sand?
Yeah, how many shots should take one shot to get it out? But say the ball's on the lip. How difficult is it to get out of the lip when it's up against the lip?
You want to hit this or you want me?
You.
How
you.
far are you talking about the lip?
Like right about there.
There?
It's almost impossible, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know. It's very hard, isn't it? Do any
Again, you got
different?
to get a little bit steeper, a little
Okay.
bit more of a V. This one makes it a little bit harder with your 1 foot in and one foot out.
Nice.
But acceleration of the club, you can still get it out of there.
How far back do you lean back when you had your...
Just enough to get comfortable enough so I can make sure to get that club about an inch or two behind it.
Okay.
So I would imagine then, Mike and Ryan, if you're way back, if you're back here in the sand, and the flag is obviously still there, you want to get it close. As you said before, you want to close the face of the club.
A little bit more square with the face, but you still got to take a big swing. If you thought
Right.
about where you hit yours, that
Right.
ball carried all the way almost to the pin.
Right.
It's the same thing here.
Well, like we talked about with the chipping shots, you could select a different club, especially if you had some green to go with instead of grabbing one of your sand wedges. Like Mike said earlier, maybe a pitching wedge or a 9-iron for a longer bunker shot would make sense.
Oh, okay. And what about, like, could you ever use a 7? Would you ever recommend anybody using a 7-iron in the bunker?
I personally don't like doing it, but I've seen people do it before. Very good players.
It would be very unlikely to hit a 7-iron from a green side bunker.
Okay, we're not going to discuss this today. We will as we go on to different shows. But when you get to a fairway bunker, obviously we're not using this out of a fairway bunker, are we? Or are we just to get it out?
Well, it depends what the shot we have, so we'll see from there. But no, you more likely want to pick the ball more than you want to hit behind it like that.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, where are we going to next,
Well,
gentlemen?
hold on. One of the most important things now that you've hit out of the bunkers, we really appreciate it if you rake the bunker when you're done here to make sure that you keep it nice smooth.
Go ahead, Mike. That's
You
all
know,
on you.
and I will. But you know, it's interesting. I've been to a golf course already this year, and they have a sign in the sand trap: exit on the low side. Why is that?
Well, especially when it's wet like this, you exit on the high side, that whole bank could cave in. Plus, it's a lot better for the bunker if you come out on the low end.
All right, so you want to rake the bunkers after every time you hit out of the bunker. And why is that? Seriously.
Well, let me tell you, when you hit it, well, you guys don't mind because you stick it in the hole and try to play out of it anyways. But do you really want to hit out of somebody's footprints or somebody's marks? So you want to leave the golf course as you found it, or better.
Golf ethics.
Golf
Yes.
etiquette, absolutely.
All right, so let's remember to rake our sand traps after we hit out of them. And now where are we going to hit next?
We're going to might as well go right over here behind the bunker for a little pitch shot.
Okay, let's get behind the bunker. Now we're back, and Mike, what are we doing?
Well, now this is from a percentage standpoint, this is the worst percentage shot you want to hit. So you only want to hit this shot if you absolutely have to use it. Like we talked about earlier with the chip, you want to keep it low to the ground, get on the ground. Now this one, we don't have that choice. We have to go over a bunker. Sometimes you have that. So it's very similar. The setup is exactly like Ryan was just talking about in the bunker. Make sure to take a swing the same way and follow through, and the ball will elevate high in the air and nice and soft.
So we're talking a sand wedge, pitching wedge, those clubs?
The highest lofted club you could use, yes, for this.
All right, let's show us how we're going to do it.
Are you going to show us? Or?
Mike's going to go first.
Which one?
The golf pro, Mike.
Oh. You told me you were the golf pro.
Yeah.
So again, the feet are a little bit left, the club face a little bit right, and swing to the middle one. Or if you're Mike Fiorillo, you aim to the right, the club face goes to the left, and you swing wherever you feel.
Thank you very much. Very nice.
Nice shot.
Yep, let's do.
Not bad for early in the season.
All right, let me try
Well, I
this
seen you
now.
play Wednesday night. That was a better shot
So
there.
the technique is just to follow through and get under the ball.
So let's aim a little left, put the ball in the middle of our stance, club face open.
You bend down a lot. You bend
Get
your
it-
knees at all.
Just, yes, get it your normal stance, but open that face. Open the face. Now, you're doing that when most people do that, okay? So what you're doing is instead of, this is a round grip. You're allowed to go like this. See how that turns? You don't have to open it by going like this and moving your hands. So open the club face and get your grip. So open the face, then get your normal grip on there. Okay.
So when you say open the face, almost putting the down on the ground, right?
Okay, hands a little bit forward, okay, but open that face, yes. Good, now take a big swing, follow through. Not bad. You
try
just,
one more.
let's open that face a little bit more.
That's why it's going far. It's too close.
Yep, open that face. Open the face. Yeah.
Mike's got the microphone, so we'll step in there. You want to open the club face, point through it. Now grip it. Now take your grip. Okay. There you go.
You choke down a little bit.
Oh, I do. Better. This is like an underhand toss in any sport you'd play, is all this is.
I'm on the green twice. Thank you.
Boy, Ed really wants to hit this shot. He is itching to run in there to hit this. Now, I will say you want to hit the shot, you got to make sure you have a decent lie. Also, you do not want to have a bad lie. I would tell you to play a little bit differently than that. So let's give Ed a nice good lie. He's a great chipper, I've heard, so let's see it here.
That's a great
Look at
shot.
that.
Look at that.
Not too long, but
Just think what he would do with technology, Ryan, using that 1945 sand wedge.
couldn't agree more.
I like that sandwich.
And Mike is still older than this club. Just saying, that Mike.
That Mike?
That's why it's good.
Oh,
You see what I
Not
did
too
wrong?
far from the clubhouse.
Well, no, I actually stopped.
it's
It
good.
don't pick up either.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get in there. When you get done, let's make sure, hang on to the club. Let's make sure when you get done with this shot, follow through. Look at your body, look how it's turned.
Yep.
Okay, follow through. Let's get through that shot. Don't stop.
Let's see if we can do it again.
Just like the underhand toss. Very nice. Boy, that was
Great shot, Ed.
impressive.
I just got to work on my aim.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all.
You can do it. Pick it up from
Now we're going to see Ryan. 3 balls left for you, Ryan.
I think you only need one.
You want to get him? I'm going to set myself up in a good lie. Body open. Club face to the right. Right? And we're going to go and turn through a little bit.
Okay.
And what club is that?
This happens to be a 58-degree wedge. It's my lob wedge. It's the most lofty wedge that I have in the bag. Again, you know, we talked it in the bunker. This wet rough it's a challenge, right? Don't beat yourself up if you don't get this shot too close. You know, your mistake from here is not getting this ball close. Your mistake, of course, is being here in the first place, right? So manage your expectations and just set up, give it a good swing with some speed, and it'll pop out and get out there on the green.
Brian, let me ask you and Mike this question. If you don't have a lob wedge in your bag, should you get one for shots like this?
I wouldn't say lob wedge, at least a sand wedge.
At least 56 degrees.
Yeah.
58 seem to be popular now. But yeah, and you'll want to certainly use your most lofted club in a scenario like this, generally speaking.
And if you look back at the shots, when you were in front of the green and you chipped the golf ball, you guys all got on the green. Nobody missed the green. When we got out of the sand, you guys did very good getting out of the sand. And we got some on the green. But look around the hole. There's not many around the hole except for maybe that couple guys over here on the right side hit them. Yeah. So your percentages went down. So you don't, what Ryan says, a mistake was being here. So try not to put yourself in a position to make this a difficult shot. Leave yourself in a position so you have an easier chip. So chip any chance you can.
What you're saying then, Mike, is course management.
Course management is very important. But putt, and any chance you can putt, chip then, and pitch absolutely last.
Next. What are we doing next?
Well, I think we should teach you how to putt. That's, you know, whatever, about third of the game right there. Very important. And I've heard Ed needs some help putting. So
and let's talk about that for a second, Ryan and Mike, because again, I want to go back to where it seems like in our society today, it's the emphasis on buying drivers. Very rarely do you see people invest in putters. Is there certain putters you should putt with? How do you determine what putter is best for you?
Well, you know, come out and see one of us and, you know, get at least semi-fit for a putter, right? You know, there are different ways to putt. Some people like to putt square to square. Some people putt more on an arc. And there are putters that are designed for more of a square to square stroke. You know, a center shafted putter, for example. Something with a shaft in the heel of the putter is going to lend itself more towards opening and closing that blade. So the first step in that is determining what kind of putter you are, right? And then the second step is getting a putter that fits that type of putting stroke. And let's not forget that the length is important. And you can also get fit for lie angles in putters now. You know, I'm 6'2", Mike's, you know,
not 6'2".
Not 6'2", right? So, you know, I'm using a putter that's a little bit longer currently, and it's working for me. But yeah, you follow those two steps, get the putter that generally works for you, and then practice. You know, there's no excuse for not practicing putting. It's free. Every golf course in the area has a putting green, right? You've got carpet in your living room. Just practice.
And the only thing to add on everything that he said is extremely important is putting is only 90% mental. So you have to think positively when you're putting. And speed is so important with putting. But you got to, this is so much of a mental game. Golf is 90% mental and the other 10% is between your ears. So you got to think positively and typically positive results will happen.
All right, let's go to the putting green. And now to end the short game, we're here on the green. We're going to be learning how to putt properly with Mike and Ryan. And a couple questions first, gentlemen. New rule this year about the pin. You can leave it in or take it out. Why did they make that change, guys, and how does it help?
Well, pace of play. They just want to keep the pace going a little bit quicker, give you an option. And especially, I noticed when we played, you got a long putt, you don't need a guy to tend it. You can putt it with the pin in, there's no penalty for it.
Yeah, I think it's just a common sense approach to that particular rule and not needing to tend it and hopefully speeding up the rounds a little bit.
Yeah, the question I have, sorry Ed, is I've always had this question, and you see it, we do it too, is the pros, the amateurs, when they get to the green, they take their glove off. Why can't you putt with your glove on?
You can, but it's all about feel. Do you have better feel with a glove or no glove? So you want to have a good feel on it, so that's typically why I take it off. But you can leave it on if you like. I've seen your touch. The glove won't make a difference. It'll be okay.
Ryan, same with you?
Absolutely. It's touch, and that's, you know, why you've got all these new fancy technical grips and bigger grips, and I think it's just, you know, your association with the golf club, and putting is the #1 shot in golf where you need the most feel to respond to how far to hit it. It's all about feel.
I see Mike is the only one with the you know, the grip's smaller than ours, and yours and Mike's are yours and I are pretty the same, but he's got a big one. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, with the bigger grip, what does that do?
You know, they say, generally speaking, the bigger the grip, the less active your hands are going to be, and the more consistent your grip pressure can be. And pressure, in my opinion, in putting, if you can keep a consistent pressure between both of your hands, you can develop a pretty good stroke and be fairly consistent.
And let's talk about this. We talked about it before, lining your putt up. You're going to go over that. That seems to be my bugaboo. How do you properly line your putt up?
Well, they make it easy as they can. If you look at yours, you've got about 4 lines on there.
Mm-hmm.
So you got lines you can put on the golf balls, and you want to try to get that lined up in the line you intend to putt on.
Do you have to worry about your shoulder or anything else again?
You want to start here, then from there you'd like to have your shoulders also parallel.
Okay. Well, why don't you guys go over that with us. We're going to start with the short putt, probably the putt that's missed the most, correct? The short one?
So it's the ones you remember that you missed the most, that's for sure. To be a good putter, you want to be able to make putts from around the hole, 3, 4, 5 feet in. So your long putts become a lot easier. So you can putt for that distance and make it. So you got to be good. A lot of people don't like to practice putting. It is boring. But you get good in putting, it's going to help your score immensely. So you want to be good from around the hole. Makes your long putts a whole lot easier.
Okay, let's get to the short putt.
Hey, Mike, I was watching one of the golf shows one time, and I don't know if it was Phil Mickelson or who, but they put like a bunch of balls in about a 3-foot radius, and then he kept going until he made every single one of them just to get the feel. I mean, why do they do it that way?
Well, if we got a putt right here, I tried to make it simple for you and give you a straight in putt. But as you go around the hole, it'll give you a little bit of a right to left putt, a little bit of a left to right putt, one downhill, one uphill. You're getting all the different type shots you're going to have, and you got to make them all. It's a good practice thing to work on. So, you want me to putt?
These look like the kind of putts that when we're playing is kind of a gimme, but go ahead and putt it in.
A gimme? What's called a gimme?
You don't have to putt it.
Really?
Yeah.
So does that happen in basketball too? Like when you get close to the hoop, they just give you a layup? Is that how it works?
No.
You actually put the ball in the hole. So like we said, we have an option of leaving the pin in or out. I still like to have the pin out when I putt.
Why is that?
It's the way I grew up playing, I guess. So just what I'm used to, my eyes used to seeing. Look at this putt here. One of the most important things in all the putts you have is speed. Okay, I'm gonna hit a couple putts here with bad speed to show you. Okay, but speed is one of the most important things. So if I was putting, even from here, and I had bad speed, like Ed does, now I'm farther away now than when I started.
Right.
If I had good speed, but the direction's not good, okay, my percentage is probably a lot higher. I'm going to make that next putt. Right. So your speed is very important. Now, my putter has a couple dots on it. I'm going to try to line up my intended line straight to the back of the cup. My body's a little bit parallel, and Ryan talked about grip pressure. Very important of having very light grip pressure. You notice it just fell in. I like speed.
You're using the Starship Enterprise there.
Could be, and you're holding on to a big, gigantic grip. So it's all personal preference. It's what I like, it's what you like.
You know, Mike, you mentioned grip pressure, and that's true of any shot, correct? How much pressure you put on the club. Is it like baseball a little bit where you don't want to choke the club when you grip it?
Sorry.
Absolutely. Or like basketball, when you're shooting a basketball. You don't want to choke it. It's got to roll off your fingertips. So very important. A lot of people in golf death grip the club. Knuckles start swelling, and you don't have relaxed forearms at all. So you got to be nice and relaxed with light grip pressure.
Okay. Ed, you want to try one?
I guess.
Ed's using the putter from the 1930s.
This is a nice Odyssey.
Oh, is it? They made them back then. I think Ben Hogan used that club.
Very
putt,
nice.
Ed.
Go ahead, hit another one, Ed. Some things to not make it too technical. Go ahead. Ed's shoulders are lined up right, and his eyes are over the ball or slightly inside the ball, which is perfect. You don't want your eyes too far outside the ball. And this putter goes back and through with a nice little stroke. I think he must be the putter on Wednesday nights.
He's the
Nah,
man.
Josh is. Josh.
Good job, Ed.
All right, here's Mike.
All right, Mike.
All right, here we go.
Well, so like most of his clubs, he aims way to the right and he probably pulls it right to the target. Yep, perfect.
Way to adjust on the fly, Mike.
Thank you.
There he goes again. There you go.
Pretty good. You guys are good from 3 and 4 feet.
Yeah.
Wait till we see the long one.
So let's go back with a little bit longer of a putt
Okay.
and talk about speed and a little bit about reading greens.
Reading greens is an art that you really have to get. One of the questions I want to ask Mike and Ryan is you're looking at this putt here and trying to line it up. I've seen some people actually walk up to the hole and they tell me about looking at the cup. And if they can see the cup on one side, you know it's going to break the other way. Is that true?
Yeah, certainly, if you can see a cup tilting, right to left, you know where the high side is and you know where it's going to go. But I think the other reason people do that, and really good putters do that, is they want to look at where they want the ball to enter the hole, right? Because that's going to help you determine the line you want the putt to go on. We hear this putt here is going to fall just a smidge to the right, so this might be like a left edge type of lining putt, but I think that's the reason that good putters do that.
Well, he's a good putter. He's a good athlete. The person that taught me that is a person all you guys know is Darryl Jones. So Darryl does that for he putts. Doesn't make them all, but he does it.
Okay, so what was the question on how to hit the longer putt, or we just just kind of get?
I mean, really, when you talk about a longer putt, we're taking a little bit harder of a stroke, a little bit longer of a stroke. But again, we're trying to get this into that circle that you guys couldn't miss from. So you want to get it inside, so almost visualize a 3-foot circle around the hole, and try to get it inside that. Don't look at that little hole. Try to get inside that 3-foot circle.
Yep.
Speed is really important here.
Absolutely.
So if you miss short, it's okay.
Well, my preference, I would like to see somebody, if they're going to miss it maybe a maximum of 6 inches past the hole. I think, very few putts that don't get to the hole go in, is the joke that everybody uses. But as far as the pace of the putt goes, the best tip that I've been given and use is that the pace of the putting stroke should be the same from 3 feet as it is from 30 feet, right? And, I like to come up with some type of a counting system. And I just simply go 1, 2, right? And that's my pace. Somebody else's might be a little bit different. If I'm going to get this putter on the, where I feel is on the left edge of that putt, I'm going to go 1, 2, right? And that's going to get going on a reasonable line. If I were hitting that previous 3-footer, I still do that, right? I still go 1, 2, and
the pace is a little bit different. Obviously, it's a longer putt, so his pace kind of has to be a little bit harder.
A little bit
still
faster, the
still
stroke
same
is a
rhythm.
little bit longer, and that's what allows that putt to roll out a little bit further.
Let me ask you this
Grip
question.
pressure's still the same. His alignment's still the same. He's still rolling us. The first 3 feet is exactly like the other 3 feet in the line he wants to go, and now he's just concentrating on speed.
1, 2. I'll push that one just a
Nice. So
Speed is
nice
he's
touch.
off,
Yeah.
but he can make the next putt.
what about, I see some people that play, will use a golf ball and then when they go on the green, they change to another ball. Does that matter?
putting golf ball trick.
Yeah.
I think most people do that because they maybe like a softer feel of a softer golf ball. You're technically not allowed to do that once you get to the greens. But if you're out playing in a scramble or something, you think that's fun. Go ahead and do it.
What does it make a difference?
That's a feel thing, right? And that's
a new
why.
clean ball compared to a dirty ball, yes, it's going to roll more consistent.
Sure. And
That's
if
why you
like
see a lot of people carry a rag with them in their back pocket. They go around and they wipe the ball off.
You can
that
do
way you
that.
don't want
though,
anything
right?
on it.
Absolutely can do that. As long as you mark it and pick it up, you clean that ball when it's on the green, certainly. Absolutely.
Ed, you want to give it a shot?
Okay.
Oh boy.
Ed might need that towel to wipe off some of the tears. And again, think speed. Get it inside that circle. But it's inside the circle,
Yeah,
so I
good
think you're going to
speed.
make it.
Good speed.
Think of some type of way to count.
Everybody thinks you should make this 20-footer. On tour, they don't make that many. You look at their percentages, a lot lower than you would think.
Not a good
He might have
putt.
made that one. Pretty good speed. Both of them are both very good
I'll
putts.
do one more.
You really want to make one, don't you?
Fans at home.
Oh, the line is perfect too. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll get that out of your way, Mike.
You know, when you're playing, you're gonna force them and say somebody has a putt from here, and your ball's here. You can learn a lot by watching them putt, correct?
Certainly can, and you absolutely should. You know, that's one of the benefits you have when you're a little further away on the green than any of your playing partners or opponents is that, you know, you get that free read, and you should absolutely take advantage of that.
Now, can you actually stand behind somebody? If they don't like it, you got to move, right?
Yeah, that's more of a point of etiquette. I mean, there's not a rule that says you can't stand behind somebody, but most people don't like
Nice
somebody
boy,
in their
great
line.
putt. Good speed.
Still short.
Look at this.
Now the green we're on today is number 9. It's a very flat green, so it's tough to teach you much reading.
I can see Mike Choke's way down on his putter.
And his speed wasn't very good on that one. That ball was rolling 5 and 6 feet by.
Let's get a nice tempo.
So he puts his big gigantic grip on and he chokes down to the shaft. So you put the $30 grip on there and then don't even use it because you choke way down to the other one.
I like the grip. I got it from Ryan, actually. I bought this at Oakland
They're popular.
a couple of years ago.
You haven't went yet.
So we know that it goes a little bit to the right because I've already said that and you've seen a few putts, but typically when you're reading putts, you want to be able to look, where's the high ground? Where's the high ground and which way would the water flow? Keep it simple and look between your ball and the hole. It doesn't matter what it's going to break over there because we're not over there. What is it between these 2 points? And look where the high ground is and try to feel of where to play a break. A lot of people have a hard time reading the green. Just look where the high ground is. And again, know if you're going uphill or downhill.
So you just said locate the high ground. It's going to break to the high ground?
Which way does water flow? From high ground to low ground or low ground to high ground?
High ground to low ground.
You just answered your question.
Yeah.
Think of it that way. It's the same thing.
And another reason why good putters will, you know, sometimes walk to the hole because you can feel that as you walk, you know, the pressure under your feet.
So if the ground's higher on the right, why wouldn't it break left?
So you think the ground is higher on the right then? So the best way to see it, and go back to my old days in high school of geometry, but if you make a triangle from right here, gives you a point of reference of these 3. Let's split it in half. Of that ground's a little bit higher over there, and that ball right now is a little bit lower than the hole, so it's a little bit uphill. It'll break just a little bit this way. Again, it's pretty flat. A lot of other greens you're on, a lot of other courses you play. I know when you're out there in Oakland, there's some greens that there's a lot of slope. There's no doubt that it slopes quite a bit. So it's just a matter of how much to play it.
Mango slopes a lot, too.
It does.
Yeah.
And the speed of the green makes a difference. When the greens are faster, they're going to break more.
That's a great question, Ryan. I'm like, let me ask you this, and tell me about your courses. I know all the courses. You're on the putting green before you go out. Sometimes the putting green speed isn't what it is on the regular hole green. How come?
Well, I can assure you that's not intentional. You know, I don't know if that's a perception.
Sometimes you've got to realize the superintendents now are working with a limited crew, and they're trying to get the golf course ready for the golfers. There's some time that they might miss getting the putting green. But their intent is to try to keep them all consistent.
So what is the speed usually at the country club greens?
Last night we were right around 11. We have not cut them yet today, so they're probably a little under 10 right now.
And talk about that. The higher up you go, the faster the green is?
Correct. The higher the number, the faster the green will roll.
What do you try to keep Oakland's at?
We keep Oakland around 10.2 is what they were last year.
And obviously, if we have a drought like for a month, they're going to be faster.
They're going to be faster. The drier they are, they're going to be faster. You got to realize with a lot of the slope, you don't want them getting much faster than that. I mean, you get a few of the, I know the few of the holes out there, you get 17 much faster than that. They don't have a place to put a pin. So then it becomes not so much enjoyable.
Right. Okay.
We'll see if we can't maybe make one of these putts here.
He's got this one.
Oh, we pulled it a little bit. Good speed.
Good speed.
Speed's good. Again, eliminate 3 putts. If you can eliminate 3 putts, you'll do that by your speed. Your scores will get lower. If you can chip it on the green in 1, at worst 2 putt, the most you make is 3 from around the green, your scores will get lower. Except for if you keep hitting the ball out of bounds like Ed does.
So the key is actually when you're playing, like most amateurs play once a week. The pros, they practice for an hour, 45 minutes before they even go out. So should an amateur go to the putting green for a little bit and maybe chip a little bit before they go?
I would go there before I'd go hit any drivers. Chip and putt. It is 2/3 of the game is around the green, chipping and putting.
Right?
Absolutely, and the goal of that warming up would simply be to get the pace. Some drills you can do are simply to putt from one fringe to the other fringe and just see how close you can get to it. Work on that tempo like we talked about. Maybe pick a hole and just try to hit it, like Mike said, within a hula hoop size circle or a 5-gallon bucket size circle. Just help manage your expectations as you get there and help you to have better pace while you're out there, because pace is going to be of the most importance when you're out there putting.
Another good drill is also to look at the hole. We talked about it earlier. Putt a few by looking at the hole. Just like most sports, you're looking at the basketball hoop. You're not looking at the ball when you're shooting it. So hit a few by looking at the hole, and it kind of helps your speed too.
And again, with putters, we all have different putters here. That's feel. How you feel about your putter?
Sure, I think it's you got to find a putter that you like the look of. You'll be most comfortable with that, something that feels good in your hands. That'll give you some confidence putting, but going back to your earlier question, something that also fits the type of stroke that you have, and whether that's a straight to straight or a putting on some type of an arc, either of those putting strokes could be very good, right? But not if you have the wrong kind of putter that doesn't match up with it. That's gonna be a challenge.
So, as we finish up here with the short game, if people want more information about the short game, about putters, about chips, you can see Mike here at the country club, correct?
Yep.
And when are you available if people want to come and maybe get a lesson or look at some clubs?
Well, typically I'm only here on the days that end in Y, so so just about any day we're here, you get a hold of us here. Either myself or my assistant Aaron Kryzon also has become very knowledgeable in all this information.
And they can call?
Absolutely, call the golf shop. Anybody, member or non-member, are more than welcome to call.
Phone number, top of your head?
Sure, it's 724-7423.
And Ryan at Oakland, same thing. People can go there and check out putters and all kind of stuff, and maybe take a lesson or two from you. How would they get in contact you?
Just call the pro shop at 814-382-5665, and if I'm not there, leave a message. I'll get back to you by the end of the day. But I'm there pretty much every day as well.
How is it important for an amateur like me or Ed to maybe take a couple lessons?
Oh, it would help probably immensely, like just looking at yourself, just alignment. You probably didn't realize where you're lining up at. And it's hard to see yourself. Even the good players, they get themselves a little bit out of whack just by alignment. A lot of times is a big thing. And then you change your swing because your alignment's off.
Right?
Absolutely. And to get one or two key things to work on in practice that will maybe be the most beneficial for your game, and then establish some type of practice routine. It doesn't have to be several hours a week, just something you can do 15 minutes here and there to attack whatever your biggest goal is. And if that's putting, great. If that's irons or whatever that happens to be. But just get one or two things that you can work on to try to lower your scores. I mean, that's ultimately what it's all about anyway.
All right. Ed, questions?
Not at all.
All right, so we want to thank Mike and Ryan today for helping us out with the short game. We'll be back with other parts of the game at a later show. For Ed, this is Mike saying thanks for watching Course Close-Up on Armstrong.